According to the article, I don't have to work anymore for the next month. We win.
I can afford to put up a couple of zeros and still win.
Golly, I told you when we started the show 2 years ago, there's winners and losers. And I just hope their Christmas isn't ruined. But mine would have been. One of the great parts of the World Cup, especially, of course, that the United States advances to the Sweet 16, is that it's another reason to get together. It's another reason to bond. It's another reason to have a couple drinks together. And while the majority of people know nothing about soccer or the World Cup stage or, you know, the alignment and the terminology, we can all rally around, whether you are American, whether you're an immigrant from another country who has a loyalty to, whether it's Argentina or Mexico or, you know, name a country. This event, because it only happens once every 4 years and has maintained a level of, I don't want to say integrity because the sport is rife.
Prestige.
Yeah, that's a better word. Because it's the most corrupt, you know, organization next to the NCAA in the world, talking about FIFA. It has a prestige to it. And that prestige, I think, is real. And I'm loving it.
You know what I like about this? We are always the big bad guy who needs to win by 50. And what I mean by that
I know what you mean.
Is when we watch the men's basketball team in the Olympics, it's not enough to win the gold medal. We have to win the gold medal, but we need to dominate. If you're into the World Baseball Classic, I don't think you will be, but once it's played next March, if you are into it, the USA needs to win the WBC. We can't lose to the Dominican. We can't lose to Japan. We got to beat everybody because it's baseball and we're America. We have to beat the crap out of everybody. But in soccer, Craig, it's the one place where we are the little engine that could.
That's right.
Where we are the underdog, where the expectations are, maybe they'll show up and compete.
Yeah.
And so that's different for me as a sports fan when it comes to the
It's
national
strange, right?
games. It's very strange.
Like
but
we've already accomplished a major thing.
Yeah.
Which was getting out of group play, getting to the Sweet 16. Obviously, we're a tremendous underdog Saturday morning against the Netherlands, as we should be. But there's an aspect of it, you know, that's great. Like we could sit here today and spend 5 hours talking about the report from Jeff Passan that the New York Yankees offered Aaron Judge in the ballpark of 8 years, $300 million. And if that's the case, guess what? He hasn't accepted it. Right?
No kidding.
So that's a legitimate story. That should make Yankee fans pretty effing happy that the Yankees went beyond 7 years, assuming the report is accurate. I believe it probably is. He's very good at what he does.
Definitely accurate.
And I'm sure the Yankees gave it to him, or someone with the Yankees, because they want the fan base to know we've just offered $37.5 million a year, 8 years guaranteed. You want to be the Yankee captain? You want to play your entire career as a New York Yankee? Offers on the table. That is a legitimate offer. That's an offer that makes Yankee fans, I think, say, good job by the Yankees. The Yankees are in the game. Doesn't mean they're going to get him yet, but the Yankees are in the game. But, boy, it's so much more fun talking about a sport that we know very little about.
Right.
That we are the underdogs in, that we've all rallied around, watching the only guy that's been promoted this entire World Cup on the American team, Christian Pulisic, who takes a nut shot, which we can all relate to, whether you've never played organized sports or not. Every boy, every man, every teenager, whether it's kickball, dodgeball, wiffle ball, you know, gym class, whatever it is, at some point, every one of us has taken a shot to the nuts. It's happened.
Dude, I took one 48 hours ago. And I was play wrestling with my son, and all of a sudden he threw a baseball, and it went right at my jewels.
And every one of us knows what that 10-second delay is like.
Oh, God, dude.
Because it's not instantaneous pain.
Oh, no.
There's a disconnect between your coin purse and your brain.
Oh, it's the worst thing.
And when the family jewels get touched, hit, whatever it might be, the brain has to process that pain, and then the brain does us a favor. The brain slowly sends that message of pain down to us because it wants us to be ready for it.
But here's the difference, though.
Pretty fascinating, actually.
When I take my shot that I took 48 hours ago and anyone else takes their nut shot, we're not scoring a game-winning goal in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was at least able to suffer that pain while having the greatest feeling in the world. I didn't get that. You didn't get that. None of us get that.
A few moments. But like it's like the ball shot heard around the world.
Right.
And what are they calling it? They're calling it a what contusion?
Pelvic.
A pelvic contusion.
Yeah, he's got a contusion of the pelvis.
He's got red, white, and blue balls. Like we know exactly what he has. That's what
but
he's got.
guess what, Craig?
But it's awesome.
On Saturday morning, that sumbitch is going to be out there kicking balls. He's going to play. That's an American right there.
Yes.
He's going to go out there and play. Now, it may not work out for us. We may get our butts kicked by the Netherlands, but I know that Christian Pulisic, is that his name? He's going to be out there on Saturday.
He's going to be out there,
True
all right.
American hero.
That's right. So anyway, if you want to do soccer, I'd love to know where you were watching the game. We obviously were watching it on the air with you guys yesterday, so I know where we were. But it'd be great to find out if you guys had like a gathering, if your work let you out of work early, if you put some TVs up in the office place. It's a rare event that everybody rallies around. I remember the World Cup 8 years ago, Evan, where I lived in Tribeca at the time. And if you walk down Greenwich Street, there's a great bar, the Greenwich Street Tavern, right? It's a small little beer and wing kind of joint, right? And they had the kind of place where you could open up the windows and you could see right into the bar, and they had 2 TVs. And I'll never forget seeing more for the women's World Cup than the men's, but for both, like you'd have 30, 40, 50 people standing outside the bar just watching World Cup soccer.
Right.
Like it's a strange phenomenon that we sneaks up on us, and all of a sudden, bang, everybody's into it.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of you who couldn't give a rat's ass about it because Aaron Judge has not yet said yes to an 8-year, $300 million deal. Here's my question. And I'm not saying this to be factual. It's probably not factual, right? Much like who's getting flexed next Sunday. Not factual.
Yeah, you really screwed that one up.
No, first
buddy.
off, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I told you I did not have anything factual to report. I told you I was hearing whispers.
Hey, Big Mac, you have any audio to play today since you're back?
The game that is not a part of the flex schedule is Miami Chargers.
Really?
Whispers.
Wow.
Whispers.
That sounded pretty definitive.
No.
The game that will not be a part of the flex schedule would be
Miami Chargers.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you have nothing else to do, don't you? Is that the case? Because he wasn't even here yesterday. He claimed to be sick. He wasn't. I know Tommy didn't do that, so that's all you.
No, here's the thing. And it
you.
is all me, but I'm bitter because I
But it was
this.
whispers. I told you all day it was whispers.
The Giants or the Jets to be flex. Now, we found out that the Jets were protected by CBS.
Well, not just that. We found out the NFL wanted it to be Jets Bills,
Right.
and CBS said, screw Jet fans. We're not moving the game.
The Jets, in a weird way, jumped the process. I wanted a Sunday night game. It was so good that we weren't even allowed to be the Sunday night game.
That's right.
So we skipped. Now, I guess that means Nance and Romo. That would be my
Nance and
interpretation.
Romo.
And when's the last time the Jets had a Nance and Romo game?
I think they did have one.
When?
I think they had one earlier this year.
They did?
I think they did one Jet game. I could
Really?
be wrong.
Okay.
I think they did one.
I don't recall that, but okay.
Fair enough.
So then
I know
was
we've had
hoping,
Ian a lot, but
Yeah.
I think one.
And we're going to get Ian next week, too. But I want, or this week, I should say, Ian this week. But I wanted Giants-Eagles. And instead, I get 2 teams. I can't stand the Dolphins and Chargers. So who do I take my anger out on? Do I take it out on the NFL?
Yeah.
No. Do I take it out on NBC? No. I take it out on the messenger. What'd you say again there, Uncle
The
Craig?
game that is not a part of the flex schedule is Miami Chargers.
Really?
Yeah, I told you those were whispers. I made it very clear yesterday. I did not have a concrete report, but I was given whispers. I can tell you this is a fact now as well. The NFL had no interest in Eagles-Giants.
Why?
Because Fox had a right to block it.
Right.
Fox decided to protect Tampa Bay, San Francisco.
Right.
That's the game that they protected.
And I get that, by the way.
Tom Brady, obviously, and San Francisco
Niners.
might very well be, the Super Bowl team for the NFC.
Totally get
so
that.
I understand that. And by the way, I understand Tua and Herbert too. But the fact that the NFL wanted Jets Bills over Giants Eagles, what does that tell you?
Well, the Jets are battling for the AFC East. They have
That's
a
right.
chance for that game to be a battle for
Well, I'm
first
going to tell you
place.
what it tells you. It tells you that the Jets are going to beat the Vikings, is what it tells
That
you.
doesn't tell you
That's
that.
exactly what it tells
That's
you.
what you take from that.
And by the way, you can lock that up.
Oh, no.
You can put away the key on that one.
Wait, hold on. Do you have the clip, Big Mac, from
Yeah.
when Craig said the Jets won't beat the Minnesota Vikings? Because
I don't
I
have
sort
that
of
clip.
recall that from a few days ago.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm like a soothsayer. I'm like
you?
Nostradamus,
Yeah.
right? The mere fact that the NFL wanted Jets Bills and CBS stymied them. Look, if the Jets lose to the Vikings, play it out for a second, right? Regardless of what the Bills do. The Jets lose to the Vikings, oh boy, 7-5. Maybe Mike White's not the answer, depending on how they lose, obviously.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe they're not even a playoff team, right?
Right.
But if they beat the Vikings,
Could be a battle for first place.
all of a sudden the New York Jets are now battling for first place, meaning the NFL knows something.
Well, they don't know something.
I'm telling you right now, the New York Jets win this game.
They're not beating the 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins-led Vikings. Nobody does.
There it is.
Listen,
There
listen,
it is.
Listen.
Thank you, Big Mac.
And I believe that until yesterday. I do not believe games are fixed. I don't believe the NFL has a stake in regular season games. Obviously, like anyone else, you want the Cowboys in games. You want major markets in games. I'm down with all that, right? But I'm telling you, the fact that you have to make this decision 12 days ahead, which is what the NFL rule is in the collective bargaining agreement. As you said yesterday, they had to make the announcement before midnight last night, right? And they did. Tells me the NFL knows something.
No, they don't know anything. They
Yeah, they
know
do.
the fact that the Jets are 7-4
I'll do you one better.
and the Chargers are 6-5.
Ready for this?
And so whether the Jets lose or win or not, they're in a playoff race.
Jets
There's
can't lose this game.
Of course they can lose the game.
Can't lose this game.
Of course they can.
This is
I
a game.
don't
This
like-
is
no,
this is going to be.
No.
This is the bagel and locks
No.
of the season.
No.
For the New York Jets.
I do not like, much
Yeah.
like you didn't like when I was confident about the
what?
Jet Patriot game. I don't like when you do this with the Jets.
La 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 la, lock it up. The great Cartini. La 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 la, lock it
Are
up.
you done? I especially don't like it when days earlier you said they can't win.
Things
they
change.
can't
They're
be.
not beating the 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins-led Vikings.
Right.
Nobody does.
I don't
change.
like that. I don't like you flip-flopping like that. It scares me.
Things
it
change.
makes me nervous. Now, I have confidence in the game, too. I'm not locking it up. I'm not
over.
dancing on anyone's grave.
You don't even have
but
to
I-
watch the game.
Stop it.
Like, I can't tell you the final score or any of that, but I'm telling you right now, the New York Jets cannot lose to
Big
Minnesota.
Mac, let me ask you a question. If the Vikings beat the Jets,
Yeah.
do you play
Which one do you play?
the one with Craig saying they can't beat the Vikings?
I'm
or
telling
the
you.
one of him saying it's a lock, don't even watch?
Why would the NFL make try? Because
'Cause
obviously
either
CBS
way,
blocked it.
it's an appealing game.
Okay.
That's why.
It's not as appealing.
Look, it may not be as appealing, but it's still an appealing game. If the Jets lose, they're still right there in a playoff
All right,
race
what's
in
the
the
Bills?
AFC.
What's the Bills' record right now?
8-3.
8-3, and the Jets are 7-4.
Yeah, but the Chargers
Hang on a
are a
second.
game worse than the Jets.
I'm
What
with
if
you.
they lose this week to the Raiders?
I won't just for a second. I'm just focusing on this for 1 second because that's a fair question. If the Bills win, they go to 9-3, right?
And if the Jets lose, they're 2 games back.
Okay, they'd be 2 games back.
Okay.
The relevance of that
No,
game
you're wrong.
changes drastically.
Why is Dolphins
as
Chargers
far as
appealing?
AFC East?
No, because they're still in a playoff race. They're still in a race to make a postseason spot, and you're dealing with the New York market plus a championship contender in Buffalo. So either way, no matter what happens on Sunday, win or lose, obviously you're right. It's more appealing if the Jets win, because the game could be for first place. But even if they lose, they're 7-5. They're battling for a playoff spot, and the Jets haven't been relevant in a very long time, and it's an appealing game.
23
and
to
the
9.
Bills had beat the Jets a few weeks earlier.
23-9.
Stop.
23-9. Write it down. Nostradamus. Write it down.
You've been so wrong this year so
Okay,
often.
I've been so wrong. I get everything right.
Jets
but I've been
Bills,
so
go
wrong.
ahead. What'd you say about that?
I said the Jets cannot beat them in Orchard
How'd that
Park.
go?
And I stand by that.
No. We're talking about the previous
And that's
Jets
the
Bills
problem
game.
here.
Well, no, we're talking about the previous Jets Bills game. What'd you say about that?
What
game?
happened?
What'd you say about the Jets Bills
Which
game? in
previous
MetLife?
game?
Jets Bills, the first time
I
they
know
played
what we
this
are.
year.
I know what we're not.
What's that?
And what we're not is a team capable of beating the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park, New York. You heard me say it right there. I stand by that statement right there. All right, listen, 877-337-6666. CBS screws Jet fans. Sorry, but that's the reality. They want to keep the Jets all to themselves. They don't want to share the Jets with the rest of the country on Sunday night. That's where the Jets are right now as a franchise. The NFL went to CBS and they said, no, sir, we will keep the Jets on our network. Okay? All good. We're going to remember that at some point in the future. We will remember that. There's no doubt we're going to remember that. Meanwhile, Aaron Judge has $300 million on the table. I will say this. I would have signed the $231 they offered him back in March. So I want to be consistent about
you
it.
lost $100 million.
I would have lost $69 million. All right, but at that level, you don't feel that difference over the course of 8 years. Obviously, you don't. That being said, I do not have that in me. If my agent called me, I don't have an agent currently. So if you want to do business with me, it's craig.carton@odyssey.com.
You save the 10%. You're a smart guy.
24/7, the shingles out, the lights open. Here's the deal. If my agent called and said, look, the New York effing Yankees have a guaranteed offer on the table, 8 years, $300 million, I would accept it. And I recognize that might be, quote unquote, bad business on my end.
Yeah, but
so I own that.
I
don't know how you wait on that.
Because it's different than a year ago. I understood your point, even though I disagreed with you a year ago. There was a risk to turning the deal down. The risk of injury, the risk of failure, the risk of things changing. Now it's just time. There's no risk. That offer's always going to be there, and if not, it's going to grow. Like, that's the beautiful thing and the beautiful spot Judge is in. The Giants match that or eclipse that. This is not the Yankees' final offer. Like, Aaron Judge is not signing for 8 years, $300 million, because he's capable of getting more.
I know that bothers me, and not just with him. I've been very consistent about it.
It's called a negotiation,
The greed bothers me. How long has me bothered?
How is that greed, though?
Because how is that not enough?
Because
how is that not
if someone's willing to pay you more and you're willing to get more from these billion-dollar teams, why shouldn't you get it?
Listen, I say you go where the money is. I'm with you on that. I just have a very tough time saying no to $300 million. It's because how can any of us relate to that?
No, listen, obviously, if any of us had a chance at $300 million, we would be running to say yes.
Right, that's why everybody plays the lottery.
Right, but he's also in a position in which he knows that he may get more. In fact, right now, if you had to guess, he's going to get more. He's not signing an 8-year, $300 million deal. He's going to get more.
Let's acknowledge that's a legit offer from the Yankees.
It's a great offer.
The Yankees did not embarrass themselves. The Yankees didn't come up lame. The Yankees made an offer.
Here are the facts on this offer. They are offering right now to make Aaron Judge the highest paid position player in terms of average annual salary in Major League Baseball. Mike Trout makes $35.5 million.
Would it be in Major League Baseball history? Would it be the highest?
No, because Max Scherzer makes more money per season.
I mean, a position player.
No, position player, it's number one. It's not the biggest deal in terms of years and money because Mike Trout signed a longer deal, Mookie Betts signed a longer team, even Francisco Lindor signed a longer deal. But in terms of money per season, $37.5 million would be the most of any position player. And as of right now, there's only one player in baseball who makes more money per year, and that's Max Scherzer, soon to be Jacob deGrom. But in terms of position players, nobody.
Which is why, like, if you're the Yankees, why would we offer you more? We just made you the biggest offer
you offer
in the history of baseball.
You offer more because you may have to pay more to keep them. Because the Giants may offer more. That's why you offer more.
If I'm the Yankees and the Giants offer more, goodbye.
Really?
100%.
So you're done?
I'm done. 8 years, 300.
Why?
Because that's a good offer.
So 8 years, 330, you'd say no?
I'd say no.
Why?
Principle.
You cut your nose off to spite your face. Makes no sense.
Maybe I am. But I just offered you more money, you said it, not me, than any player in the game has ever made. I have the highest offer ever in the history of the game.
No, you don't. You have the second highest offer because the Giants just beat you.
Well, right now in the moment, I have the highest offer.
Moment, but if somebody else makes a better offer, then as great as your offer is, that's fantastic. It's second best.
Fair enough. Trey Turner, you're a Yankee. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Who else? Who else do we want? I just go get everybody else. And I tell Aaron Judge, wake me up when you get to a World Series.
Here's the problem with that theory, because I heard Tiki and Tierney saying that earlier, the idea of, if they don't sign Judge, get Turner and Bogarts. That's more money than Aaron Judge. So now Hal Steinbrenner is willing to spend more money.
Well, because it's two players, of course.
Why not keep Aaron Judge and sign a second player who makes less money?
Well, because I'm going to get that. Then here becomes a good question.
Yeah.
Which one's greater? Aaron Judge and blank?
That's a different debate.
Or Trey and Bogarts?
Craig, that's a great debate. But that's
I don't know the answer to that.
No, you don't, because you don't know who the second player is.
Exactly. But I know this.
No,
$300 million. $300 million. God. How do you say no to that? Maybe I think
you say no to that because you may be offered more.
You say no to that because you don't want to be here anymore. You say no to that because like Dorothy, you want to go home.
I'm not convinced
That's why you say no to that.
No, it's because he has a smart agent and he knows
who's his
agent?
As
great as this offer is, I don't know the guy's name. As great as this offer is, I can get more. And that's not being selfish. That's not being greedy. That's being smart.
Well, it's both.
No, it's being smart.
Smart and greedy.
If you know you can get more, why settle on the first great offer you got in the offseason?
Smart and greedy. That's fair. They're both. They can be mutually exclusive. at the same time.
Here's my point. If Hal Steinbrenner is willing to spend, let's say, $70 million and add that to the payroll this offseason per year,
sure.
then paying Aaron Judge $37.5 still gives you a few dollars to spend.
Gives you $33 million more to spend.
So the debate shouldn't be Judge versus two shortstops or two elite free agents. The debate is Judge and someone else versus those two players. Because then you're looking at apples to apples. You can't compare two guys who are going to make, let's say, $30 million each. Yes, it's less than Aaron, but it's $60 million combined versus a guy making $37.5. How the hell is that fair?